Hi, welcome to another Revenue Hub Who Are We video, where we talk with one of our expert partners and find out a bit more about them and their organization. Today we're joined by Emilio Galán, CTO and co-founder of Beonprice. Emilio talks about his background and how his early career plans led to him fulfilling his goal to become an entrepreneur. He introduces us to Beonprice, the company, its solutions, their core differentiators, and how their aim is to empower revenue managers through their solution. Finally, Emilio talks about how they operate with their clients in terms of support and onboarding. Really hope you enjoy what he has to say. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you know when we have new content. And please don't forget a simple thumbs up. It really helps raise the profile of the channel, and in that way, you can help us to help others. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. Roll the intro. Hi, Emilio. Good to see you. How are you? You well?
Well, Trevor, it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate you giving up the time and finding the time to talk with us. Great for us to have the opportunity to hear more from you, hear more about Beonprice and your solution and your company. So let's get started. Maybe the most obvious point is to ask you if you could just give us a bit of an introduction as to who Emilio is.
Okay. Well, let me introduce myself and speak about my background. Well, like many children at that moment, I wanted to be a pilot. But very soon I realized that what I really want to be is to have my own business in the future. Mm-hmm. So I decided to focus on that. And in order to do that, I made a path in my life, differentiating four steps.
Okay.
The first step was being a serial student in order to acquire as much knowledge as I could. Mm-hmm. So I studied computer engineer. I studied an e-commerce master's, an MBA also, and different business programs in Cambridge and Harvard.
Right.
Okay. Later, I have accomplished the second stage of my life, that is being a serial employee,
right?
Getting as much experience as possible from working in other companies and giving value to them. In that way, I have been working for the astrophysics of Canary Island, Santander's Bank, Telefonica, and GPM. Those are always working with technology.
Absolutely.
Okay? But as I have mentioned before, what I wanted to be is an entrepreneur, to launch my own ventures. Mm-hmm. Okay, and in that way, I started with the farm that my family has. Mm-hmm. But the most important venture that I have launched is Beonprice. Right. Later, we can go deeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and in order to do that, I have been with Ruben, my co-founder, in several incubators like the Founder Institute, the ADE 2020, okay, or Seed Rocket in the Google campus in Madrid, in order to do it better. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the last stage that is coming soon, I hope, is to become a serial investor.
Okay.
In order to help others to do the same, or to launch their own ventures. So it's like to give back to the community what I have received.
Absolutely. And with the education, with the experience, the launching your own business, building your own business, not only is the funding well appreciated from any investor, but the knowledge, you can't put a price on knowledge. So and I would imagine that not the experience, I'm trying to think of the appropriate word, but just to be working side by side with other entrepreneurs, with other visionaries, with other individuals who have these ideas and have this energy. I could imagine that would be a pretty enjoyable time.
Right now, I am mentoring some entrepreneurs here in Salamanca in order to grow the ecosystem that we have here.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine that would be a nice thing to aspire to.
And like you are saying, it's not only money; it has to be smart money, serving our knowledge and our experience with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, as you say, your third phase, the entrepreneurial phase, the working and being the co-founder of Beonprice. We'll get into the solution in a minute, but first of all, can you just give us a little bit of an update as to Beonprice, when it was founded, how big you are, reach, that kind of thing? That would be useful.
Okay, very, very, very quickly. We were founded in 2012, or we founded Beonprice in 2012. Right now, we have more than 2,000 hotel clients in more than 30 countries. Wow. We have offices in Spain, where we have our headquarters, having offices in Salamanca, in Madrid, in Barcelona, but also in Latin America, in Mexico and Colombia. Okay. We are 65 people in the team right now.
Very good, very good. That's a good growth over that period of time.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, I can imagine. And having those different locations as well. I mean, from a support point of view, I mean, I don't know a great deal about the Latin American market, but I mean, there are many hotels in that region.
Yeah. Yeah, there are very different hotels in those regions we are working with. We differentiate between small clients, medium clients, and strategic clients. And we are mainly focused on medium and strategic clients.
Okay.
And also, that they differentiate between urban and leisure hotels. We focus on both of them.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, whether it was urban and leisure, so you do both. And when you say medium, so what is there like do you define that by kind of room size or by size of group or chain or?
Mainly by size of the group. We are a revenue management system, and in order to get value from them, you have to have a revenue culture. In your company. So from 3 hotels, more or less, in the groups, they have a certain revenue culture, so they can extract value from our system.
Yeah, no, that's a very important point, and it's interesting how many times the word culture comes up around revenue management, and I think indicative. There's a number of individuals over the period have quoted that somewhere, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe even 25% of hotels only have an RMS. And there are reasons why: size of property, but also I think a lot of it does come down to the culture and approach to revenue management as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Some research says that there is a huge opportunity. More than 80% of hotels need a revenue management system, and they are using artificial intelligence in order to improve their decision taking.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that increases post this crisis, where so many people have been looking at technology. So that leads us on, as you say, it's an RMS system. We've heard a little bit about urban, leisure. We've heard about kind of the size and the culture that's needed of your client. Let's actually hear a little bit about the solution. And I guess if we can maybe go back to the early days and what prompted you, what made you think that the area where you were going to be an entrepreneur was in a revenue management system to the hotel industry?
Yeah. Everything starts with a why.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Ruben and I, we were working together before Beonprice in a company. He was the CEO I was the head of development, and we decided in the worst moment of crisis to launch our own business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was a difficult situation in Spain at that moment, but we wanted to change that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to change the status quo and to create a real value, okay, and to have an impact on the society that was in a difficult situation at that moment. And also we wanted to show that it is possible to launch a business not from Salamanca, not always from Madrid, Barcelona, London, New York, or San Francisco. That is possible from other cities also, and create a great business for all over the world, okay, to the rest of the world.
Yeah,
so at that moment, we knew our strengths. We were good working with data. We were good with technologies and innovation. And we were good also working with people. Mm-hmm. So those strengths were the result of launching a company that works with data, using the best technology in order to extract the value from that data, and with the best professionals we can find in the market. And at that moment, in 2012, we were looking at Google as a reference.
Okay.
And they were saying, "Oh, we want to bring order to internet." Mm-hmm. So in order to copy them, we said we want to put price on internet.
Okay.
It was our objective or our mission. Yeah. Okay, that means that we wanted to add value to our customers, taking the better decisions or about revenues, about sales. Okay, reducing the gap between demand and the supply. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. And that's when we launched Beonprice, and also because Ruben's sisters was working in a hotel, okay, and she told us that there was an opportunity in order to do that. Mm-hmm. What I am saying in the hospitality sector. And we analyzed the opportunity, and it was really important because the revenue management was starting at that moment.
Yes.
Exploding. So that was the best moment.
Yeah, it was good. Certainly good timing. I mean, it became so much more prevalent, didn't it, in terms of starting to see that shift from it just being about pricing into much broader and suddenly engaging with the title or the profession of revenue management and how that needed to evolve. And so technology becomes a piece of that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what prompted, I mean, at the time when you would have been launching, I mean, there has been so many new systems come on to the scene. So I would guess there weren't as many solutions around at the time when you were launching, probably some of the more legacy names that people are familiar with. Would that have been right?
Yeah. When we launched Beonprice at the moment, there were a lot of providers, but they have a legacy strategy. So what we wanted to launch our business as a software as a service solution, mm-hmm. Cloud native, and focus on extracting value from the data.
Yeah.
So focus on how the artificial intelligence can help mm-hmm. or improve the decision taking in the hospitality sector.
Understood. And is there anything, again, you see if I kind of move forward to where we are in the current age, putting COVID aside, as much as we can, but looking at the various solutions that are out there on the market at the moment, where do you, when you're sitting down with your customers, where do you see as being the sweet spot or the differentiator as where you guys stand in amongst the legacy providers, the others that have come onto the scene utilizing AI? It's a phrase that is used a lot, and as you say, extracting value from the data is a critical component. So I'm just interested to hear where you see Beonprice sitting in that space.
Yeah, it is a very good question, because when we see a client, they usually have an ecosystem of technologies. Some of them are the PMSs, the CRS, the channel managers, the BI, the CRM, but they don't have a solution that take all of them into account and give a smart suggestion of on the decisions they have to take. Okay, and this is where the revenue management system appears. That's the position we are covering. We are the brain of this ecosystem of the hotel, getting information from all the sources, applying machine learning algorithms on that data, and suggesting the actions they should do in order to improve their RevPAR. And in order to do that, when we started, we analyzed the different solutions that there were in the market. And we realized that most of them were focused on analyzing the historical data. And as you have mentioned, right now with the COVID and also in the past, there wasn't sense to do that because from our point of view, we have to take into account what is the behavior of the customer when it's making a booking. Yeah, and that's how we started. We started analyzing the customer behavior, how they decide where to book, and we start an index called HQI, Hotel Quality Index, in order to get that knowledge in one number. And the HQI, it's a number between 0 and 1,000 that let us to calculate what is the customer expectation when they are booking a hotel. With that number, we can calculate the price elasticity and also the sales probability of one hotel, and allows us to incorporate it in the algorithm in order to have better accuracy.
Interesting. That differentiates. And it's not just, and as you say, there's been a lot of talk lately about forward-looking data, but that isn't just forward-looking data. That's a different data set that you're bringing into the algorithm there as well, isn't it? So, yes, okay, you're looking at buyer behavior, but you're looking at evaluating and positioning within your appropriate competitor set. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right. We are not focusing the historical data. We are more focusing the data from the market that is happening right now. And also, a part of the HQI, we include information about the price of the different hotels in the destination. We also include information about the demand on the destination in order to include it in our algorithm and to have a better decision.
So, and these are recommended pricing. To what degree is there, because there's also been this arguments may be the wrong word, debate over the last couple of years with the proliferation of technology around is it man versus machine, or to what degree do you work in conjunction, much like until we get to automated driving, you still need somebody to drive. You might have a sat nav advising you which way to go and letting you know if there's a roadblock and an alternative option, but someone still has to make that choice and then navigate it. With the Beonprice solution, how much of it is fully automated pricing? How much of it is recommendation with a need of revenue management input as well?
It's a wonderful question, because what we want to do with our revenue management system is to empower the revenue managers.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean? From our point of view, it means that we have to give tools to them in order to do a better job, better work. So we know that we can help the revenue managers doing the commodity decisions, and on those decisions that the revenue manager has to enter and to add the value, the knowledge, and to add the expertise, they have to focus on. Yep. So we think that the 80% of the decisions can be taken by the revenue management system, but the rest, the 20% of the rest, have to be supervised by the revenue manager, because they can have some expertise or some knowledge on that.
Yeah, because I mean, algorithms are great, but they're only as good as the data that is coming in for it to calculate. And there are often other things that we may be aware of locally or regionally that isn't necessarily pulled into that algorithm. So that's where that oversight piece comes in. Yeah.
And at that moment, if they don't have a revenue management system, they don't have enough time in order to focus on what it is important. With a revenue management system, they can.
Yeah, and so with yes, you do see a lot of time where people are still working with spreadsheets, with pricing, and I guess in a way it's maybe why they don't update their pricing as often because of the time that they're taking, or it may be back to something we were discussing before around the culture around revenue management. That also comes into play, doesn't it? I mean, that's a big factor of somebody embracing a piece of technology and seeing how it can enhance their operation.
Yeah, I agree.
And one of the things I wanted to touch on as well is in terms of there's differentiation between each of the different RMS systems that are out there, but there does come down to some philosophical differences, which we've touched on a little bit about automated pricing, a little bit about how much the revenue manager is involved. And I also think there's a large part comes into play about the company's approach in terms of support, onboarding, engagement. I mean, some companies are trying to offer a very simplified solution, pricing solution, easy onboarding, easy engaging. And then there are other systems at the other end of the scale that I won't use the word more sophisticated, but are much more complex and therefore need a lot more support and working with the hotel. Where, on sort of a scale, where do you guys sit? What's your approach, philosophy of working with your customers?
Well, we are a professional solution. So it is focused on those revenue managers that know what they are doing. But from our point of view, it's not only to having the best technology, it's also to have the better professionals after the technology. So when we are selling our revenue management solution, we are offering the best solution for a professional perspective, but also we have account managers that are working together with the revenue manager in order to extract more value from the solution. And they have and the account managers are working together, pushing the revenue manager in order to do it better.
Yeah, because again, I guess that's the harmony, isn't it? I mean, you understand as a company revenue management within a hotel, and you understand the technology and what it could realize. And over time, there's that relationship builds where you can work with the revenue managers within your customers to help show them how they can be gaining greater value out of the system, out of the data that they have available.
Yeah, we have a mature model with different steps. We know at each moment what step the client is, and we do a plan and make a plan in order how they can improve in that path. So the account managers are working together with the client in order to improve their operations.
And always looking to, I guess, what would have been maximizing revenue, but I guess now we're also focusing around profit as well. That's the new thing on the, or that's the new word that's been around for a little while now. So be interested to see that. Perfect. Well, look, we've covered the main areas. I mean, we just wanted to have the opportunity to talk to you, hear more about the company, really get to understand the solution and where you sit in the marketplace. So that's been very informative from our point of view. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you feel is important to know, or have we asked you all the core areas to get across?
It has been a pleasure, Trevor, to speak with you, and
likewise.
I invite all the people who is hearing us to enter in our website and to fill the form in order to ask for information.
Absolutely.
It will be a pleasure to be in contact with them.
And we'll make sure the appropriate links are there and associated with any of the articles that we write up around this interview. So been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for finding the time. I know it's a busy period for everybody at the moment, but it is always appreciated when you find the time to sit down and talk with us. Thanks so much.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you, Tom.
Well, I hope that conversation was of interest, and thanks again to Emilio for joining us. If you like the discussion, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. I know every video asks for it, but by giving a thumbs up or subscribing, you help raise the profile of this channel, and in that way, you help us to help others. If you're interested in more of our Who Are We conversations, here is our playlist. If you're interested in expert insights, here's that playlist. And please don't forget to subscribe. Here is the button. Anyway, thanks for watching.